Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Anikasavo kasavang yo attang paridhesati apeto dhamma saccena naso kasavam rahati. Venerable Chief Naika Hamdaro and Venerable Sir, friends and children in the Dhamma, welcome for our Saturday regular Dhamma talk. We are continuing with the twin verses in the Dhammapada. Once Buddha was residing in Jetavana monastery. While he was residing there, his chief disciples, he had two chief disciples called Sariputta and Moggallana, each accompanied with 500 monks, traveled from Jetavanarama to the city of Rajagaha. Today it is called Rajgir, meaning the house of the king, Rajagaha. And when these 1,000 monks, together with the chief disciples of the Buddha, visited, the citizens in the Rajagaha was so excited, they grouped together in twos or threes or as 4 individuals, and they were prepared to welcome and to take care of these 1,000 monks. And they offered dana to Venerable Sariputta and Moggallana and to the other monks as much as they could. As the thanksgiving for these danas, for these offerings, Venerable Sariputta taught this well-known teaching, well-known Dhamma, well-known law for these groups of people. He said, when you do or practice charity alone, without influencing, encouraging your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, you will be blessed with the wealth in the future, but not with the retinue. And if somebody were to encourage his neighbors or his relatives to do dana, but he himself avoid doing dana, he will be blessed with the retinue, but not with the wealth in the future lives. And if somebody were to deprive from giving himself, from practicing charity, generosity himself, also if he is not to encourage others to practice generosity, that person would be deprived of both the blessings of wealth and the retinue. But if somebody happens to practice dana, practice charity, as well as encourage, assist, support, and ask others also to practice charity, he will be blessed with both the wealth and the retinue in his future lives. This famous law, this famous teaching was taught by Venerable Sariputta to the gatherings in Rajagaha. Once during this visit, a householder wanted to organize a great charitable event, a great dana for all these 1,000 monks. And he got support from all his friends, relatives to make this dana a success. While they were organizing, another householder approached to them and said, "Brothers, I have a piece of valuable cloth, a few yards of cloth, which is so valuable, so precious. If you happen to spend all your finance, all your money, and if you happen to want any more money, please use this cloth, sell this cloth. It's worth 100,000 gold coin. So you can sell this and use the money for the dana." They accepted that offering, that participation. But it so happened, by the end of the dana, they found the money they had was enough for the dana. And that cloth is with them. What to do with this? And they were discussing among each other to whom this cloth must be offered. Some were suggesting that we should offer this to Venerable Sariputta, the most eminent disciple of the Buddha, who is like the second Buddha, who is like the most wise, intelligent, other than the Buddha. So let's offer this to the Buddha. But the majority was saying, "Venerable Devadatta," I think you may have heard about the Devadatta, the cousin of the Buddha, who got ordained under the Buddha, but at every step who was trying to look down upon Buddha, who was trying to go against the Buddha, who was even trying to get rid of the Buddha. Because his ego was so big, even he couldn't tolerate the presence of the Buddha that is considered better than him. He could not tolerate anyone to be more respected than him, more revered than him. He thought he is the best. This ego and the jealousy when he encountered that other people are respecting other monks, he couldn't tolerate this. He couldn't bear this. In his extreme jealousy, he was trying to overcome and get rid of those eminent disciples and the Buddha in whatsoever manner. So, Venerable Devadatta, Devadatta means given by the gods. Such a beautiful name. But in the Buddhist history, no other monk wanted this name to adopt and to represent with this name, because this name got such a bad reputation, because it was the name of this person who tried to destroy Buddhism and the Buddha. He was the bad egg in Buddhism at that time. And this Devadatta was the frequent incumbent of Rajagaha in Veluvana monastery, while Sariputta, Moggallana and all the other venerable arahants, after their enlightenment, after their awakening, they were always in traveling. They were traveling to far corners of the country, helping others, assisting whosoever come into contact with them, whosoever interested in learning how to get rid of misery, how to get rid of suffering. They were always on the road. Venerable Devadatta, he was not traveling. He was always in the city, in the temple, and he was ever ready to help, assist the citizens. So they had created certain link with this Devadatta. Of course, it seems Devadatta is looking for the crowds. He wants to create a certain group of followers to support him. So he was there in the pretext compassion. So being deceived by Devadatta, the majority of the crowd said, we should give this to Venerable Devadatta. He is the one who is always ready for us, like a water pot. He is available always for us to approach, for us to help, get help from him. So let's give him to Devadatta. Since the majority were recommending Devadatta this valuable cloth. Mind you, at that time, clothes were rare and valuable. So valuable. Sometimes if you happen to meet burglars or thieves in the forest, what they grab from you is your clothes. It was so hard to make the clothes. This difficulty in making the clothes made them so valuable. That's why Buddha intentionally wanted the robes of the monks to be valueless monetarily, money-wise, valueless. It was the Buddha's intention. Now, Devadatta, after he received this beautiful cloth, he cut it into two and fashioned it, dyed it, and made these two garments of undergarments and the upper garment. And he is wearing this beautiful robe and he is walking here and there. When others see this, Devadatta wearing such a valuable robe, they said, this valuable robe is not becoming for Devadatta. It may become for Venerable Sariputta or Moggallana or Buddha himself, but not for Devadatta. So they were saying, Devadatta is wearing a robe which is not suitable for him. This discussion spreaded, and even it reached to the ears of Buddha. Buddha said, monks, this is not the first time that Devadatta is wearing the robes which is unbecoming for him. The monks were curious about this saying, about these words of the Buddha, and they asked him, why, Venerable? Why, Bhagavan? Why are you saying this? Can you please relate the story which happened hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes ago in one of the former births? Then the Buddha related this story. Once, Devadatta was an elephant hunter. Being a professional elephant hunter, he was looking for elephants to kill them for the tusks as well as other parts of the elephants that can be sold. And when he was roaming in the forest, he happened to saw a strange sight, that hundreds of elephants in a group, walking one after the other and paying obeisance to certain meditators. These are Pacheka Buddhas, private Buddhas. Buddhas got enlightened but are not teaching the Dhamma, are called Buddhas, the private Pacheka Buddhas. They are enlightened by themselves, but they cannot explain to others how to get enlightened themselves. Therefore, they are keeping it secret, or they are just being silent about it. Those Buddhas are called Pacheka Buddhas. If a Buddha declares that he is a Buddha, the only purpose is that he can assist somebody for the enlightenment. If he cannot assist, if he cannot make others enlightened, if he cannot awaken others, he just keeps silent. Because it is not a business. He doesn't have any kind of intention to enlarge the followers, make a big business out of it. It is not something lucrative from earning or making money. So they just keep silent. They are called the private Buddhas, or Buddhas, the private Pacheka Buddhas. And these hundreds of elephants, like a group of devotees, one after the other, paying respect to these Pacheka Buddhas, and then go away. When the elephant hunter saw this, he quickly decided, I must find some robes. Once he found at a pond, a Pacheka Buddha, a private Buddha, is having a bath, and his robes are on the bank of the pond. He stole these robes and ran away. And he was sitting in the vicinity, wearing these robes, even with his head covered by the robe. Elephants, seeing this, misunderstood that this is also a Pacceka Buddha, and they came to respect, venerate him one after the other, and this elephant hunter waited until the last one comes. When the last elephant approached to him, quickly thrust his weapon to this elephant and killed him. And after he got what he wanted, the tusks and the other parts of the body that can be sold, he buried the body. Now he got this business opportunity. Yeah, those people who are wearing the robe and pretending to be Buddhas have the same kind of intention, just like this elephant hunter. Only the difference is their target group. For them it is business, nothing else. Those people who get deceived by them, they are bound to lose their wealth, they are bound to lose their spirituality, they are bound to be misguided by them. That's what is happening in the name of religion in the world, in the name of Buddha's teaching in the world. Conmen pretending to be Buddhas. This conman was that kind of an individual. So he was continuing, sitting under the pretext of a Buddha, waiting for the last elephant, kill him and get the parts of the body he wants and run away. He was continuing this. And after some time, the Bodhisattva, who was born as an elephant in that herd, became the leader of this herd. And he found his herd, his kinsmen, his brethren are getting less and less. The crowd is getting fewer. He inquired about this with the other elephants, but they had no idea. Then this elephant said, I am the leader. If they go away, they have to inform me. They have to let me know about their leaving. What is happening? Something really bad is happening. I must look for this. In his contemplation, he had this suspicion on this man sitting under the tree. Unlike the other Buddhas, he is covering his head entirely and sitting there. Something is wrong with this guy. So he decided to check on him. And that day, instead of going in front, he decided to be the last one. He decided to be in the rear. And when he was approaching this elephant hunter, he was very careful. He was observing. And this elephant hunter, as usual, when the last elephant is approaching, he removed his robe, got the spear and attacked the elephant, but the elephant was ready. He grabbed the spear and threw away. And he immediately, in his anger, this elephant attacked this hunter. But the hunter tried to run away. He just jumped and hid behind the tree, crouched under the tree. Then the elephant put his entire trunk around the tree together with the hunter. And he grabbed the hunter, threw him to the ground, was about to kill him. But he remembered, I am a follower of the Buddhas. Buddhas think highly of me. Buddhas, Pacceka Buddhas, those Arahants, they respect me for my nobility, for my noble qualities. If I commit this murder, I will lose their respect entirely. It is not becoming for me to kill this sinful person. I will go to the same level as this person if I kill him. Then instead of attacking, he asked the hunter, why are you doing this? You are not at all suitable to wear this robe, wear this dress, which is becoming for an enlightened being. You are wearing a robe which is unbecoming to you. You are not suitable for this at all. You are making your sinful deed much more worse by doing it in the guise of an arahant who is the utmost innocent living being in the world. You are the most sinful person I have ever seen. He rebuked this elephant hunter. And Buddha said, at that life, Devadatta was not suitable for this robe. And monks, even in this life, he was not suitable for this robe. By saying this, he repeated these two stanzas. He said, Anikka savo kasavang yovatantang paridahesati apeto dhamma saccena nasoka savam rahate. One not free from defilements, who will don a yellow robe, thus one devoid of control and truth, is not worthy of a yellow robe. Yochavanta kasavassa sile susamahito upeto dhamma saccena save kasavam rahati. But one who placed in virtues would be with defilements ejected. Endowed with control and truth, that one is worthy of a yellow robe. Kasava, kasa. Even today in some countries, they use this word, exact Pali word for the robe. They say kasa. Kasa is the robe. Now, kasa or kasa is designated for the robe for the reason that it is being dyed by the colors of nature. The colors are found with the burning or with the boiling of roots and the barks of a tree. How do they make this color is that they gather some barks and the roots of an old tree and they boil them. While being boiled, they put this cloth into that pot and let it boil for some time. In that boiling, that robe will take the color of the roots and the barks of that tree. It is not just yellow, but yellowish we can say. Some say it is brownish, in according to the tree that you find, either brownish or yellowish. But today it is said that the monks are wearing the yellow robe. This yellow has a significance in it. It is a constant reminding of the death. It is the color of the setting sun. It is the color of the dying, withering a leaf which is about to fall down. So this constant remind of the death is important for us to generate a certain haste towards our practice. We call it sangvega, a certain haste, becoming hurry, becoming kind of rushing towards our spiritual development, because the death is imminent. Death is to happen anytime. So practice today. Don't delay your practice. That is the idea being implanted in the hearts of the monastics when they are wearing this robe. And this robe represent some kind of purity. At the beginning of the Buddhism, robe was introduced to make sure that the commune of the monastics wear this robe for the purposes of protecting the body from the wind, from the gadflies, mosquitoes, from the sun, from the rain, and to mingle with the community, mingle with the civilized society without being ashamed. In a civilized society, human beings wear clothes. So, just for these purposes, and also we have to remember, robe is not supposed to be used for decorative purposes. It is not for decoration. It is not to make oneself beautiful or handsome. The robe is just to cover up the body, just to cover the body and become presentable to the world, so that you can approach the world without being ashamed yourself. And as I said earlier in this talk, that Buddha made sure that the robe is valueless, monetarily valueless. Even you got one large piece of cloth, when you are making the robe, you have to cut it into pieces and then sew it again. You have to sew it again to make a robe. First cut into pieces. Once it is cut into pieces, it loses all the monetary value. And those days, during the Buddha's time especially, since the value of the clothes was so high, they made the robes by gathering pieces of cloth from the cemeteries, under the soil, from garbage bins. Wherever they can find a piece of clothes, they gathered them, sewed them together, and it made one whole piece of cloth and wore it. That's how they made their clothes. That's why we call those robes pang sukula, Pangsu is soil. Akula means smeared. Soil smeared. Soil smeared were the name for those robes because they were made by collecting those pieces of cloth under the soil, in the earth, those thrown away pieces of cloth, valueless pieces of cloth. So it is just for the sake of survival they wear this robe. But later on, this robe represented certain purity, a certain nobility, certain virtues. Once you wear this robe, immediately you become an object of worship for others because you are more compassionate, you are more patient, you become more understanding. You are not behaving like a lay person. You become an object of worship for the lay persons. And this robe represents Buddhism. You are part of the Buddhism, direct part of the Buddhism, once you wear the robe. So your behavior matters to the longevity of Buddhism. Who can destroy Buddhism? If other religions try to destroy Buddhism, it doesn't work because Buddhism has never been destroyed, can never be destroyed by any other kind of religions or followers of religions. Buddhism can be destroyed and is being destroyed by the ones who are in the Buddhism, who are wearing the robes. While wearing the robes, they are not following the Buddha's words. They are not being controlled by themselves. They are being shameless. They are backing politicians. They are backing powerful people. They are promoting disharmony. They are promoting war. They are promoting fighting. They are promoting hatred. If such a person is behaving in such a manner, he is not an authentic Buddha's follower, and he is not worthy of wearing that robe. Because this robe itself representing something priceless, something immensely valuable. It represents compassion. It represents patience. It represents understanding. It represents unconditional love. Once you wear this robe, you don't belong to a particular country, particular nation. You become universal. You are an object of worship for everybody. Object of veneration for everybody. But even after wearing the robe, if you are to possess certain ideas of the lay people, then you are just a layman wearing the robe. You are not being ordained within. Your head may be shaved, but your inner immorality, inner layperson is still there. So who destroys Buddhism? These are the ones who destroy Buddhism. Those who wear the robe, but underneath, within them, they are not being ordained. They are still lay people. They are still laymen within. They are not monks within. So once you are ordained physically, you must be ordained emotionally. Must be ordained mentally, spiritually. Or else the harm you create on Buddhism is immense. Buddhism, if it is to be destroyed, it is to be destroyed, or it will be destroyed by his own incumbents, by his own followers, not from others. Others cannot destroy Buddhism. Those who are in Buddhism, they destroy Buddhism. And not only those robed followers of Buddha, if the lay people are supporting those monks, being blind to the destruction they create on Buddhism, they support those monks, and they also become the part of the destruction create for Buddhism. So there is no bigger harm for Buddhism than those people who are wearing the robes but unbecoming for robe. In this stanza, Buddha says, who are these people that are unbecoming to wear the robe or not suitable to wear the robe? Those who are devoid of control and truth. Control and truth. This is the inner control. Control within. Control in the spirituality. Being humble, egoless. When you control your ego, you become humble. When you control your anger, you become compassionate. Compassion is byproduct of control you forced upon the anger, hatred, jealousy. When you control your conditional love, unconditional love, metta arise. When you control your passion, desires, the passionless compassion arise. So those who don't have control over their emotions, negative traits in the mind, and those who are not truthful, these are the two groups exactly, or these are the people, Buddha says, who are not worthy of wearing the robe. In another explanation, in another translation, I found this meaning. It says, if a man's thoughts are muddy, if he is reckless and full of deceit, how can he wear the yellow robe? If he is reckless and full of deceit, how can he wear the robe? This is directed exactly towards Devadatta. But when you look at Devadatta and his actions, and when you compare with those monks in today's Buddhism, when you compare with them, Devadatta, and with these monks today, Devadatta is very innocent. Devadatta is not so bad. Devadatta was driven by ego. He just wanted to be more respectful towards him other than others. He was not backing politicians. He was not doing all those vulgar stuff. He was not mud smearing the Buddhism in comparison with the certain monks that we can find today. And Buddha has seen these people beforehand. He said, it is a destruction for Buddhism. It is a destruction for this dispensation. If someone who is not worthy of wearing this robe happens to wear this robe. Anikasavo kasavang yovatang paridahesati apeto dhamma sachena naso kasavam rahate yochavanta kasavas sileso susamahito upeto dhamma sachena save kasavam rahate. Those who do not have self-control and who are not truthful are not worthy of wearing the robe. Only those who are tamed, controlled, and who are truthful are worthy of wearing this robe. This is the meaning of these two stanzas. That's enough for today. Let's share these merits together with the departed ones and the devas. Akasatta cha bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu loka sasanang. Akasatta cha bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanang. Akasatta cha bummatta deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu mam parante. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. A blessing to you. Dukkharoga bhaya vera soka sabbe upaddava anekantaraya pi vinasantu cha tejasa jaya siddhi dhanang labang sotti bhagyan sukam balang siriya yuchavanno cha bhogang buddhi cha yasava satavassa cha yucha jiva siddhi bhavantu te ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.